Today I wanted to do a bit more of an unassuming video where I answer some questions that some of you guys have sent in about my course, the course that I launched earlier this week called Get Hired, and the link to it is in the description. And it's really awesome. There's some people that have been asking me questions about it, people that are trying to decide whether this course is right for them, but it seems like they need a little bit more information to go on, so I wanted to give you that information. So this is awesome here, and just for the sake of brevity, I'm not going to read names and read exact questions, but a couple of people basically asked me this course, who does it apply to? Okay, the bottom line is that it applies to people who are unemployed or who are looking for, to change jobs, who are at the entry level, all the way up to a middle management position. Okay, it's not really meant for executives. There's a lot of things in it that come from executive recruiters. Okay, so there is a lot of that, but I didn't make it with executives in mind. But if you're at an entry-level job, you're just starting out, or you're anywhere up to a mid-management level, this course is for you. You could definitely benefit by knowing a lot of this stuff. Now, if you're at the entry level, you may not benefit from, like you may not need everything, but the more stuff that you have that I give you in my course, the more good it's going to do you. Okay, the more you're going to be able to crush it when you come to interviewing and writing your resume and communicating with recruiters and hiring managers and going through the application process. So yeah, that's basically who it's for. Now, just something that I wanted to explain before I answer the next question is that, see, for me, YouTube videos are great if you're explaining a tip, right? Something that's, you could do maybe a 5-minute video on, you could explain in 5 minutes. You make it nice and compact, but it's basically something that you could explain in 5 minutes. So a lot of those videos I've done in the Get Hired series, which are in that playlist called Get Hired, I will do a link to that in the description too. Hopefully you've seen those. Those are my most popular videos on my YouTube channel. Those kind of fall into that category because you could basically explain how to answer one question in 5 minutes if you do it in a compact way. Now, the problem is that there's a lot of other things you got to know for doing a job search strategy correctly, but a lot of them you can't explain in 5 minutes. It's a bit more of a lengthy concept. It's a bit more to it. So I've had a bit of a challenge trying to make a YouTube video on those. So that's what this course is for. This course goes into all the bigger concepts that I couldn't really do a YouTube video on easily, where I fill in the missing pieces. And I can go into more detail. I can give more complex examples and stuff like that. So it's more in-depth learning as opposed to my YouTube videos, which are more sort of quick tips, generally speaking. Now, a couple of people were basically asking what the learning outcomes were. Like, what do you learn in the course? Okay, so there's 4 things that I go into. Okay, the first is probably the easiest to imagine. Based on my YouTube videos on how to answer job interview questions, okay, the first one is how to interview. Okay, so I go deeper into a lot of the concepts. I talk about the things I haven't addressed on my YouTube channel yet, like, for example, like behavioral-based questions. I haven't talked about those really. So I go into those, and I go into more overarching concepts. And let's see, what were they asking here? Yeah, I also explain the perception of recruiters and hiring managers, what they think about, what they're looking for, how they react to various different things. I explain that. And also, I give you things that you can do to rehearse and prepare for job interviews. Okay, so in terms of like, what do I work on? What do I have to memorize? What, how should I practice this? What can I do? I give you a lot of that stuff. Okay, so this is stuff you can apply and it will really improve your performance in a job interview, and you'll feel a little bit more comfortable too. Okay, so that's the first thing I talk about in this course, is how to interview. I go deeper there. The second thing is your resume. Okay, it's how to improve your resume. Writing a resume is something I haven't really talked about too much in this on the YouTube channel. I think I've done like maybe 3 short videos on it, and that's it or something. But I go into a lot more detail, obviously, in how to write your resume. And the thing is, if you were to do a Google search and search for tips on how to write a resume, there's a lot of stuff out there. And some of it's pretty good, and some of it's not really good. The thing about a resume is that it really depends on what you're using the resume for, okay? Who's it going to go to? At what level are you at? Is it going to be read by a machine or read by a human? Things like this. So the way you do a resume really goes hand in hand with knowing what you're using it for, okay? So I give you sort of some options there. We talk about what your resume should have if it's being used for certain things, okay? What do recruiters and hiring managers look for? And also the question that several people have asked, which is, what do I put on my resume if I have no experience, right? This is something that a lot of people, well, especially a lot of young people, are concerned about, okay? What if I have like a work gap and, all this kind of stuff? So I address that kind of stuff. Okay, so that's the second big thing you're going to get out of my course, is you're going to be able to come out of it and have a really good resume, okay, that presents you well and appropriately to the person you're sending it to. Okay, number 3. I almost did this to say number 3. Number 3, some people do it like this. I like that. Is discovery of job opportunities. So I have a playlist on my YouTube channel that's called How to Tap the Hidden Job Market. And it's, 6 or 7 videos, something like that. And it gives you an introduction to the hidden job market, because as most people know, the best jobs out there are not posted. Okay, so when you look at all the posted jobs, you're seeing kind of all the jobs that they couldn't find someone for already. And now they're posting it publicly. The really good jobs are the ones that are not posted. And something like 80% of all jobs that exist are not posted, and they're filled before they get posted. So I talk about that. I talk about some other things in how to discover job opportunities. Okay. I give you specific things you can do, scripts and things like this that you can do to open up some of those too. Okay. And for people that are unfamiliar with the hidden job market, this is an absolute gift, knowing about the hidden job market, because not only are there more jobs in the hidden job market, not only are they better jobs, but when you put yourself forward for a job in the hidden job market, okay, first of all, you have much less competition. You might be competing against a couple of people instead of a couple dozen people once it's posted. And also, the nature of the interviewing is a lot different, okay? Instead of the recruiter or hiring manager, usually the hiring manager, sort of, not believing you when you say stuff about yourself, now you get a lot more credibility. You get a lot more credit, and it's a much more positive experience interviewing for jobs on the hidden job market than it is for posted jobs. Okay, so I teach you about that, and we get into how you can tap that, how you can put yourself forward, and how to do things there. So that's the third thing you're going to be learning. And then the fourth thing is the application process. Okay, so how to interact with hiring managers and recruiters. Okay, like how the communication works, what goes on in their head. What type of communication is appropriate? What are they secretly looking for, but they're not going to tell you until you do it or you don't do it? Okay, that kind of stuff. We're going to talk about that. You know, how to give these people what they want and how to stand out from the other applicants. Okay. And basically just how to communicate well and how to present yourself well. Okay. So that's the fourth thing. So those are the 4 big things you get in this course. And then I don't have it here, but somebody else was asking, you know, what do you get at the end of this course? Like, what does this enable you to do? Well, basically, this course, this Get Hired course, if you take it and you follow, you know, the recommendations, you will, number one, you'll be able to get a job quicker than you normally would, you know, with not having taken it. And you'll probably be able to get a better job than you would otherwise. And you will feel more confident as you go through the process. And you will feel a lot more positive about the entire process. And then the job search process itself will probably not scare you as much. I know a lot of people get scared by this. You know, the thought of like, oh, I got to find a job. You know, it's a very negative thing, and they feel lost, and they feel like they're out of their comfort zone, and you know, it's just a very negative kind of thing. One of the effects of taking this course is that you'll feel a lot more confident, a lot more positive, because you know how things work, and you know exactly what you have to do to find job opportunities and you know, be seriously considered for them. So that's what you'll get from taking this course. Now, I just want to say a lot of this stuff came from my experiences, first of all, as a hiring manager, having hired a lot of people. So I know the perspective of hiring managers, but also teaching recruiters in university. I teach people that are getting their HR certification in university. And so I know a lot of, you know, the recruitment side of it too. So, and it's kind of how my YouTube channel started originally, where I had a lot of students that, you know, they seemed to be very particularly interested in, you know, the how to get a job question. And so I would end up, you know, answering questions, and I'd end up answering the same questions over and over and over again. And that's what led to the beginning of my YouTube channel, just making videos and sending people to my videos. But it's great because I got a lot of feedback from students where they had applied my recommendations in their job search, and, you know, hearing how it went and how things turned out. And, you know, the vast majority of it was positive. And so that's what a lot of material has been incorporated from that. So I guess the last piece here is someone was wondering about the format. So the format is kind of like this, okay? It's a little bit more sophisticated than this. I've got PowerPoints and stuff like that, but there are 10 modules, which really is like 10 lectures, and each lecture is between half an hour and an hour long. And the way it works is that in each module you have the lecture, which is a video, so you can watch the video, or you could just listen to the audio. You could listen to the soundtrack, okay, and that would work too. But if you watch the video, you get, you know, PowerPoints, you get sort of, you can see where we are, and you get summaries of key points. And then on top of that, in each module, I provide some written materials. So the main thing, of course, is going to be that you get essentially a list of the topics, so you can see where you are, a list of the main points, so that you have that in writing, okay? And it makes it easy to review and easy to see kind of where you are in the course, okay? Now, after each module, there are no evaluations, okay? So there's no tests, nothing like that. But what I do is I give recommendations in each module. So, and I put the modules in a very specific order. So we do things like LinkedIn and stuff first, and I give you recommendations. So if you don't have a LinkedIn profile, or it's not kind of set up properly, it's not optimized, I get you to do that first, and then do a few things so that later on when we talk about the hidden job market and stuff, you know, we can build upon, you know, your network and stuff you've already done in the first part of the course, and get some results very quickly. So that's kind of the format. Okay, so 10 of those with recommendations, and that's it. So that was, I believe that covers the questions I got. So it's great having people send in their questions. It shows that there's some interest, so that's really awesome to see. So you guys are awesome. You're awesome whether you take this course or not, by the way. Just want to throw that out there. But the other thing I want to say before I sign off was that I've received, in the last couple of weeks, I've received a lot of very positive comments to a lot of my YouTube videos. It's amazing to see the sort of, you know, almost like a tidal wave of like positive feedback from stuff. So that's really gratifying to see. So thank you very much. I do appreciate you guys. Some of you are really awesome, saying very nice things. And hopefully, if you're curious about my course, this gives you more information. And if it's right for you, great. If it's not, that's cool. No pressure. If you do have any other questions, please contact me. Let me know, like some of you guys have been doing, and I'll be happy to answer. Awesome. So thank you very much for your attention. I will see you guys on the next video. And until then, you take care of yourselves. Bye.